Now, President Obama in his National Defense University speech also talked about press freedom. Let's hear from the president.
The Justice Department's investigation of national security leaks offers a recent example of the challenges involved in striking the right balance between our security and our open society. As Commander-in-Chief, I believe we must keep information secret that protects our operations and our people in the field. To do so, we must enforce consequences for those who break the law and breach their commitment to protect classified information.
That sounds so reasoned, so balanced. Now, of course, what he's not telling you there is that they took action that was literally unprecedented. Apparently, we found out today through Michael Isikoff at NBC News that Eric Holder himself, the Attorney General, signed the warrant for James Rosen, who was an investigative reporter for Fox News, broke a story about North Korea, and they called him a co-conspirator in that leak, an aider and abettor. And that's how they got the warrant to search his phone calls, his emails, his parents' phone calls, and the list goes on and on. Now, even Nixon couldn't do that after the Pentagon Papers. He thought about it, but his advisors said that's such a breach of how we do things in this country and a breach of the First Amendment, freedom of the press, that you should not go in that direction. And Nixon, who did Watergate, pulled back and said, fine, I won't do it. Obama did do it. That doesn't sound very balanced, does it? His speeches are wonderful. His actions, not so much. Now let's listen to the rest.
But a free press is also essential for our democracy. That's who we are. And I'm troubled by the possibility that leak investigations may chill the investigative journalism that holds government accountable. And that's why I've called on Congress to pass a media shield law to guard against government overreach.
Classic Obama duplicity. Because if you listen to the speech, you say, again, he wants to protect the journalists. He's even advocating for a media shield law. Now, if you look into the details, that's actually not true. In the beginning of his first term, several Democrats in the Senate actually tried to pass a media shield law. It was strong, it was a good effort, and at the very end, it wasn't the Republicans who defeated it. Just read the New York Times, went back and read the New York Times article from several years ago on this, just 2 days ago. It was President Obama who torpedoed that law that he's now pretending he was in favor of. The Democratic senators, who are not that progressive a bunch to begin with, threw up their hands and said, we had a deal. We have plenty of senators. We could have gotten this passed. Why did President Obama kill it? But in the speech, it sounds like he's in favor of it. So if you judge Obama by his speeches, you would think he was a lovely president. If you judge him by his actions, not so much. And a final irony here.
And I've raised these issues with the Attorney General, who shares my concerns. So he's agreed to review existing Department of Justice guidelines governing investigations that involve reporters. And he'll convene a group of media organizations to hear their concerns as part of that review.
That's awesome. Now, do you get why that's ironic? We just told you Eric Holder is the guy who signed the warrant for James Rosen. So he's the Attorney General, head of the Justice Department. Oh, he shares Obama's concerns as they do unprecedented violations of the First Amendment. And so don't worry, Eric Holder will investigate Eric Holder. Okay, well, problem solved. So this goes to the heart of my frustration with Obama supporters, because they might see speeches like this and think they have a progressive president and might not understand why we get frustrated at him. But the reality is, if you look beyond the speech, his actions have not at all borne out what he has said in these otherwise fantastic presentations. But that's what President Obama is. He's a presenter. When it comes to actual action, not so much.